If I could go back and do it again, I would keep even more notes. Build yourself a little system and then stick with it as you're going through it, and it will be your friend. One section of how you're going to be keeping notes is every single time you pay any bill or invoice on behalf of the person who has died. So that might be a bill that arrives for them for their home or for their mobile phone, but it could also be a cost like for flowers for the funeral or something. You want to keep the receipt and note down what that was actually for. So the way that I did this was by opening a spreadsheet really early on, noting the date, the purpose of the cost, how much the cost was, and I even numbered the receipts to make it easier for me to then later do the accounts and give all of my expenses in administering the estate. And this is true whether you're an executor or an administrator. I had one spreadsheet that had all of those costs. Because I didn't really know what I was doing, I also made a spreadsheet for all of the major events. Then also each of the companies that I got in touch with. Because the thing is, you think you might just get in touch with a bank or a pension fund or a utility company just once. But actually what ends up happening as an executor or an administrator is you contact them multiple times. And sometimes you have multiple things to do, like you inform them about the death, but then you need to send in some documentation, and then they're meant to get back in touch with you, or something doesn't happen and you find you're still without a bill and you need to contact them again. Because you're going to be doing this multiple times over many weeks and months, it's really good to have noted down when you contacted them the first time and which actions came from that. I also noted the name of the company and how I had contacted them, because some pension funds require you to contact them via post, others via phone, others online, same with different banks. So actually having a bit of an overview of that meant I didn't need to have it all in my brain. And I found that document was very helpful. There was another reason I found it helpful. Since I was dealing with the topic of death, my own mortality became very clear to me, which therefore meant that I could see that there was a possibility that even I could die in the course of being my dad's executor. That would have meant someone else would have had to pick up where I had left off. I felt it was really important to keep notes of everything I was doing for so many reasons, so that other people knew what I was doing, so that it was transparent, so that I could explain it to the accountants, the probate accountants I ended up getting involved, so that I could show the beneficiaries if they had any questions about it. Also for my own sanity, so that I knew roughly what was going on. But I also found it important to remember there was a chance that I could die in the coming year, meaning someone else would have to pick up where I left off. If you've got more than one executor, then it's a good idea to share these documents so that everyone can see them and add to them as they need to. It's a very difficult balance to make sure that you're sort of being disciplined with yourself and with the other people who are in charge, but also allowing for the extraordinary effect and weight of grief that is happening and shock at that time. And what can add to the shock is then discovering that you're an executor or you're an administrator and you have a really colossal job to do. For some people, they will have had jobs in their life that are similar to doing things like this. And for other people, they will have never experienced anything like this. Taking on the role of executor can be really massive, but I think it genuinely helps, if you've never done it before, to build yourself a little system of note keeping all of your receipts, keeping notes of all the things that had to happen, all of the numbers that you've had to apply for. There's just so many little details. So do build yourself a little system and then stick with it as you're going through it, and it will be your friend.